Well, welcome everybody to the MindFlourish Network today. And today we're going to talk about the benefits of cold water exposure, exploring the physical and mental advantages that you can reap from doing that. So I'm here today with my friend and colleague, Thomas Gates, and he is going to give us his infinite wisdom on cold water exposure. So welcome, Thomas.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Um, so why don't you just tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
I've been in the first responder business for over 20 years now. Did a small stint in the fire department, and then most of my career has been in law enforcement. And so, with these types of jobs, you're always looking to be in the best, not only physical shape, but also mental fitness as well. And so, you're always exploring and looking for things. Um, that's how I came across cold water exposure. And then, thankfully, you and I met because, in addition to being a first responder, I'm also an associate therapist that specializes in working with first responders. And so I had the great privilege and honor of working under your leadership and supervision. And so that's how we came together. In a nutshell, my day job is first responder, and my night job is helping other first responders with significant challenges that they may be facing. And then outside of work, I love to be outside. And then, I'm a husband and a father as well. So constantly looking to be better in those areas as well.
Okay, cool. Well, so what is cold water exposure?
Yeah, it's a great question. So if you go back a few years ago, it kind of was this Instagram sensation, right? Everybody started jumping in different tubs or containers or, just cold water. So cold water exposure, really, when it comes down to it, is exposing your body to cold water, either in a shower or some type of contraption, whether it's a barrel, a tub, or anything where you can submerge your whole body. There's people that do it in pools too. So people who have pools in the wintertime, they'll use that as an apparatus to expose themselves to cold water.
Right. Wow. Uh, just the thought of jumping in a swimming pool in winter. It's just like, no,
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, and people do it. Some people don't want to spend the money on a contraption, so they go, "Hey, why would I do that when I have a pool out there that's freezing cold?"
Absolutely. I can totally understand that. So, how, other than like you said that some people even just take cold showers. Like, how long would you take a cold shower?
Yeah, so it really depends. As you get into this, it's always good to start slow and then work your way up. So your first time exposing yourself to cold water, you want a few different things to kind of align so that you get the best benefit out of it. So one, you need the water. So yes, you can absolutely take a cold shower, or if you have a contraption or a tub or whatever that may be, you can use that. And so, what you really want is the water temperature to be between 49 degrees and 59 degrees. That's what the research has said is the optimal temperature. And so, people will constantly ask, how cold does it need to be?
Right. So let me get this. Basically, one step above being in the refrigerator, but you have air to breathe.
Exactly. And the freedom to move your arms and your limbs.
Right. So what are some of the physiological responses that a person can get when they enter cold water?
So this is what I love about it. And going back to the Instagram sensation, right? I fell into that trap as well. I started doing it just because everyone else was doing it in the sense of challenging yourself to, can you do this? And so what I quickly learned in the rabbit hole I went down was really what's going on with the body as you do this. And so let me walk you through kind of what goes on physiologically. And it's really simple. So I'll tell you, it all begins when I start walking out to my barrel. What essentially happens is your fight or flight starts kicking in and the danger signs start going off, all the warning bells. Hey, don't do this. It's too cold outside. You don't have time to do this. You may die of hypothermia if you climb in this barrel. All these things start going through your mind. So really it starts with the sympathetic nervous system kicking in, and you either do the fight, the flight, or the freeze.
Right.
And so this is what I love about cold water exposure, and this is why I went down the rabbit hole with it, is because if you think about it, if you, especially in my business, the first responder business, you have to learn how to overcome that nervous system and so that you can perform.
Absolutely.
Well, when you think about it, somebody with trauma who wants to function in daily life, they want to be able to control that system too. So, this is what I love about it. If you've been the victim of some type of traumatic event and you're struggling to really learn how to control those triggers or activations, what a heck of a training ground to be able to do this and really learn how to overtake that system.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just think it's amazing the effect that it can have on your body and your mind when it comes to PTSD and trauma and, learning how to control your body and your breathing, right? Because like, how do you overcome the fight, flight, or freeze?
Yeah. So, either with my clients or just in my personal life, what I call it is the pilot's checklist. When you think about an airplane in the sky and the engine turns off, the pilots they don't just give up and go, well, I guess we're going to plunge this thing into a mountain. No, they grab their emergency checklist and they start going down the list of things to do. This is really no different. So, what would an example be of the pilot's checklist for overcoming, the fight or flight in this case? Well, it starts with breathing. The first thing I do is when I feel the physiological response come in, I just take a quick double breath, two inhales and a long exhale. And then I reassure myself, hey, this is nothing new. We've done this plenty of times. Yeah, it's cold, but we'll be okay. And then as I start to go to the water and as I start to get into it, I take another double breath. And then I recognize what's going on. I go, yeah, you're right, body. It is a little cold today, but we've done colder. And then as I fully submerge up to my neck, I sit there and I begin to breathe and I begin to relax. And once my body starts hearing, hey, we're okay, we've done this before, and oh, you're doing a little bit of breath work, well, then something happens. That heart rate starts to go down, my breathing returns back to normal. And then to fight off the cold, the body starts creating its internal thermal layer, going, we're a little cold. We need to distribute some blood and some sensation to these cold extremities and start warming up a little bit.
Right. Yeah. So, what does that double breath look like?
Yeah, so this is, there's a neuroscientist, Andrew Huberman, who's fantastic. He's a big internet sensation. And a lot of the concepts that he deploys is very practical for you and I to deploy in the real world. Now, I'll be very honest, when it comes to certain breathing techniques like box breathing, I'm too dumb to remember that. I need something simple that I can deploy immediately to start combating the stress reaction. So the double breath is very simple. It looks something like this. It's a big inhale with an immediate inhale after it. So I'll do the double now. It goes
Okay.
followed by a long exhale.
Uh-huh.
And so what's really going on there is all the little sacs in the lungs start to inflate. As we get stressed out, they start to constrict. So what we're doing is we're inflating all those little sacs,
Right.
and you're 2 to 3 double breaths in a high stress situation, and you're good to go. I use this technique with a ton of first responders as well as myself in stressful conditions, and I will tell you, I call it voodoo magic because you can go from being stressed to calm pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, I've told you before how, I won't do a cold plunge just because I have potential heart issues that, I'm not willing to play with. But I do take 3-minute cold showers now, and that double breath and just allowing my body to acclimate, slowly and just calming myself down, has, it's made an enormous difference. And the changes that I've experienced with less inflammation and having more energy, feeling calmer, just knowing that I can control my body that way has been amazing. So, yeah. So even if you can't do a cold plunge, you can do the cold shower, right? And it just takes some time to get used to it. Maybe, like I did, you start at 30 seconds, right? After your shower, and then you build to a minute and then you go up, right? And that's what I did. And so now I'm at about 3 minutes on a regular basis. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'll tell you what the research essentially says is the cold shower and the actual cold plunge provide the same benefits.
Hmm.
Now, for me, I'll tell you, when I take a cold shower, I tend to cheat and I want to take a step back. When I climb in the barrel and I do a full submersion to the neck, it's kind of hard to cheat on that.
Yeah.
So you have to be disciplined in the shower.
Yeah.
And you highlighted a lot of the benefits. So it goes beyond, well, it actually hits both the physical side and the mental fitness side.
Uh-huh.
From the physical side, you're going to reduce brown fat around the heart. You're going to reduce that inflammation. From the mental health side of it, you're going to drop what they say, the research says approximately 300% dopamine release,
Wow. That's
which
amazing.
is incredible.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously going to boost mood.
Uh-huh.
Um, and you're going to feel a lot better. But the other thing you're doing is you're conditioning your mindset for hard things. And so there's days where I've had to stand in the rain, for example. And buyer beware, I hate cold water and I hate being wet. But here I am doing this, right? And so standing in the rain used to really just bother me. I hated it. I
Yeah.
can stand in the rain all day now because I say, well, this isn't even, it doesn't come close to a cold plunge.
Right.
Water's not even cold.
Right.
So you start conditioning your mindset for difficult situations and pushing through hard things.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the optimal number of minutes per week that you should do this?
They're saying right now about 12 minutes a week, which is
Okay.
not a lot when you think about it.
No, no.
You could essentially, now again, it takes time to build up to this, but you could start out doing 30 seconds, the optimal 12 minutes. That's going to take some time to get up to. I'll,
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I've been doing this for years now, and I'm only going 4 to 5 minutes because each session a couple times a week.
Uh-huh.
There's really no reason to sit in that thing for 10 minutes, and the research has said, yeah, you get to a point where you're not getting a benefit at that point.
Right. Yeah. So then is it safe?
It's a great question. So I always recommend people check with their primary care physician to really, and like you highlighted, if you have a heart condition or you have cardiovascular challenges, I would highly recommend you consult your doctor.
Right. Yeah.
But then I have kind of an issue with that in the sense of, in some cases, if your doctor's not up to speed on what's going on in a holistic approach like this, they're
Right.
automatically going to say, that's crazy, don't do it.
Yeah.
And you may lose out on an opportunity. So
Yeah.
it's a balance. It really is.
No, I definitely think that it's important to, talk to your doctor about it, but at the same time, like you said, some of them might not be up to speed on it. And so it seems to me that it would really be about knowing your own conditions. And so like I know that I have heart issues. So maybe it's not wise for me to do it. It might not be an issue for me. I don't know, but I'm not willing to do that. But I wouldn't need my doctor to tell me one way or the other as to whether or not I'm going to do that. So I think that you have to know yourself too, and you just have to be wise and pay attention to what you're doing, and you start slow.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Maybe you start with just your legs.
right.
Maybe then you work up to your mid waist and just really see how your body's reacting to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
On the mental fitness side, I'll tell you too, there was a great study out of Russia where they did a test with individuals with chronic depression. And so what they ended up doing is going out to a lake a couple times a week, and they would climb into this cold lake. And what the study ultimately ended up showing is those who had chronic depression and were on antidepressants ultimately were able to come off of those antidepressants. So that's what the research is saying is, hey, if you get 12 minutes in a week and you have the optimal temperature
Mhm.
and you're getting the full benefits of it, you may be able to come off medication, which is a great thing, right?
That's awesome. That's amazing. Definitely. Yeah. Is the medication isn't fixing anything. It's just kind of a band-aid to get you through. Something like cold plunge is actually potentially fixing the problem and helping you to learn how to maintain, and it becomes a really positive coping skill for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there's in some instances, and I'm not against medication, I think there's instances where some people may need medication for certain conditions.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But we also know too, with the medications, may come more medications to start combating side effects of the original medication.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why if you can find a different way, then I think it's well worth your time to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, is there anything else that you would like to tell us that I haven't thought of asking you about?
Let me look through my notes real quick, but I think we hit them. It's pretty simple. I'll tell you, I've heard a ton of success stories as it relates to a reduction in inflammation, combating arthritis, a lot of different scenarios where this is just really helping people. And so, and again, nobody wants to go climb into cold water.
No.
Nobody wants to do it, but I challenge you
Challenge you.
to try it
Yeah,
and see if you see a benefit from it. And
right.
if you do, then just keep going and
Ab-
see how, every day is a new challenge for us anyway. So maybe 2026 is around the corner and you want to start off the new year doing something different or challenging where you're at in life. Try
Uh-huh.
it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then we know that, this isn't a fix for everybody.
Yeah, you really don't have much to lose there.
No,
Do you?
you really don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on this interview, Thomas. And I really hope that uh, people out there benefit from this and really maybe some people are just going to really turn their lives around because of it. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. Always good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Take
Absolutely.
care.
Take care. Well, I hope you all benefited from this video, and I hope that you have a beautiful and wonderful day. And we're also going to do a follow-up video on this showing a cold plunge with Thomas's wife. So you all have an amazing day and take care.